Hey y'all, Michelle Raza here with Finding Yourself SATX Life Coaching, helping you find your best self since 2017. I hope if you're here, you've been watching our videos. If you like these videos and they provide value to you, please do like and subscribe. It really does help us little YouTubers. And check out my website. It's at www.findingyourselfsatx.com. There, with as little as $1, you can support the Finding Yourself Book Club. You can also start your life coaching journey for $9.99. Thanks, y'all. All right, so today we really are going to wrap up the chapter that we've been talking about on feeling your own feelings for Melody Beattie's Codependent No More. I think last video I said that I would finish it, and then I just got a little long-winded and didn't. So hoping to finish up the chapter today. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me and spending time here. And if you're watching these, I mean, it means that you're interested in getting better, right? The other playlists that we have are on emotionally immature parents, how to deal with emotionally immature parents. That's Dr. Lindsay Gibson's works. She's actually given me permission to talk about her next book, which is Self-Care for Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. So super excited about that. And then we have a playlist for John Gottman's works, Dr. John Gottman, and that's on What Makes Love Last, with a slight deviation covering 3 videos covering his the 7 principles of making marriage work, which we've also moved to another playlist called EQ Shorts. It really does teach you how to talk to someone in such a way that doesn't put them on the defensive and is a way to improve your emotional intelligence quotient, or EQ. So thanks for being here with me today. We're going to start. So I'm on page 148 of Melody's book here, okay? We may want to make another decision about how to deal with our feelings. This is especially true if we are consistently reacting to someone's behavior with a great deal of emotional distress. And even after reporting this distress to the person, he or she continues causing us pain. Maybe you don't need that much help to feel. Remember, feelings are indicators or motivators. Watch for patterns in our feelings. They tell us a great deal about ourselves and our relationships. Sometimes, dealing with feelings means a change of thinking is needed. Many therapies acknowledge a direct correlation between what we think and what we feel. There is a connection. What we think influences how we feel. Sometimes inaccurate, overreactive, or inappropriate thought patterns cause our emotions or cause them to remain longer than necessary. If we think something is awful, will never get better, and just shouldn't be, our feelings will be intense. I call this disaster thinking. That's why it is important, after we feel our emotions, to examine our thinking. Get it out in the light. If it's inappropriate, then we know what we have to do to solve the problem, don't we? There are times when we may need to discuss our feelings and thoughts with other people. It is not healthy to live our lives in isolation. Sharing the emotional part of us with others creates closeness and intimacy. Also, being accepted by someone else for being who we are helps us accept ourselves. This is always a marvelous experience. Sometimes, we may want to discuss things with a friend who will just listen while we air things and try to figure out what's going on. Things we lock inside can get too big and too powerful. Letting them out in the air makes them smaller. We gain perspective. It's always fun to share the pleasant feelings too, the joys, the successes, the tickled pinks. And if we want an intimate relationship with someone, we need to discuss our persistent feelings with him or her. It's called emotional honesty. Caution. Intense, happy feelings can be as distracting and scary as intense, sad feelings. especially to codependents who are not used to happy feelings, according to Scott Eggleston. Many codependents believe happy feelings must always be followed by sad feelings because that is the way it has usually happened for them in the past. Some codependents believe we can't, shouldn't, and don't deserve to feel happy. Sometimes we do things to create sad feelings after experiencing happy feelings, or whenever the possibility of a happy feeling exists. It's okay to feel happy. It's okay to feel sad. Let the emotional energy pass through and strive for peace and balance. So I'll pause here for a second. So I think this is really important. If you're used to living from, disaster to disaster, trauma to trauma, just all the craziness constantly, when you finally do achieve peace and balance, it doesn't feel right. It feels like something's off. And in your mind and in your body, you're just waiting for the next thing because that's kind of what you've been used to. So I recently opened up about having been in an abusive relationship. It was the most beautiful experience. When things were good, they were good. The best person I could have ever been with, the most loving person I could have ever been with. And when things were bad, they were very bad. So there was a lot of highs and a lot of lows. And it does make it hard, right? You can't really get your sea legs because you're kind of always waiting for the next explosion to happen. And if you're a codependent partnered with somebody with chemical dependency issues, whether it's drugs or alcohol, it's kind of that same feeling where you never know when they're going to go off the deep end. You're not quite sure, right? You can't really settle in any type of peaceful situation or in the high because you know that the low is coming. And I think that is kind of the definition of a codependent, right? You're partnered with someone who is not taking on their own responsibilities, and you've been taking on their responsibilities for them. And so you can't really feel that peace or that happiness because you're just waiting. You're just waiting for the next crazy to happen. And so hopefully, if you get out of the situation and you no longer have that person in your life, or you've made it to where they're responsible for their own issues and you're no longer taking on their responsibilities, when you do find that peace and balance, it's not going to feel normal. It doesn't feel normal, and many people go seek out something to make them feel off again because that's what feels normal. It feels normal to be in crisis, so I'm going to go seek out a crisis, right? And so understanding that and having that in your back pocket and being prepared will help you for when you are achieving that peace and balance and it just doesn't feel right or doesn't feel normal. You can rationalize in your mind, I know this doesn't feel normal because I know that what I'm coming from is so tumultuous and so crazy, and I kind of just need to let this pass too. This feeling that my peace and balance is not normal will pass, and eventually it will feel normal to not be in crisis. So be patient with yourself. If you're on this journey, you may find yourself looking for the crazy, looking for the drama. A lot of codependents get in a relationship with someone, then they leave that person and get in with someone worse. You go from dependent to worse dependent to worse dependent until you yourself have to hit rock bottom as a codependent, just like the dependent has to hit rock bottom in order to change their life and do something better. A lot of times, whenever a dependent has enablers around them, they're never going to stop until they don't have those enablers anymore. And as a codependent, you may never stop taking on the problems of other people and really not focusing on your own life until something big happens to the point where it snaps you out of it and makes you realize that this just isn't the way that you want to be. Melody talks about, I can't remember what chapter it was, but she talks about this lady's awakening when She found herself chasing her husband around with a knife. I think he was a sex addict and kept cheating on her, and she was chasing him with a knife, and then realized, like, I have gone crazy. I have gone crazy, and I need to step away from this man because this is not healthy behavior for me. And so I don't know what that'll be for you, right? What that moment will be for you, but everyone has to hit it. And so if you're a codependent and you've managed to step away, the first thing I'll say is congratulations. And if you go seeking out the drama, just realize that it's normal. It's normal, and rationalize that you're seeking it out because that's what feels normal for you. And for your own health and wellness and your balance, you need to get used to living in peace. It's hard. It's hard to get used to living in peace, but you need to do it for your own self, for your children too. There are times when we may need professional help to deal with our emotions. If we are stuck in any particular feeling, we should give ourselves what we need. See a counselor, a therapist, a psychoanalyst, or a clergy person. Take care of ourselves. We deserve it. We may also want to seek professional help if we've been repressing feelings for a long period of time, or if we suspect what we've been repressing is intense. Sometimes it just takes only a little practice and awareness to awaken the emotional part of us. The following things help me get in touch with my feelings: physical exercise, writing letters I don't intend to send, talking to people I feel safe with, and spending quiet time in meditation. We need to make awareness of ourselves a habit. We need to pay attention to the shouldn't feel that way attitudes we tell ourselves. We need to pay attention to our level of comfortableness. We need to listen to what we're thinking and saying and the tone of voice we use. We need to keep an eye on what we're doing. We will find our way to and through our emotions, a way that works for us. We need to invite emotions into our lives, then make a commitment to take gentle, loving care of them. Feel our feelings, trust our feelings, and trust ourselves. We are wiser than we think. And she closes with an activity. Activity 1. Read through your journal writings. What emotions were you speaking or pouring out as you wrote? So you're going to analyze your own journal entries. 2. Let's play a what if game. What if you could be feeling anything you wanted right now, and feeling that way wouldn't make you a bad person? What would you be feeling? Write about it. And so this kind of plays into what Dr. Gibson had talked to us about, right? Nobody can see, like, you are allowed to think whatever you want. You don't have to act on those feelings and thoughts, but you're allowed to think and feel whatever you want, and they are private. Those feelings are private to you. And so when you've been raised by an EIP, they may tell you something like, don't even think that. And they may try to control your thoughts, but at the end of the day, and one of the exercises that Gibson tells us to do is to think things in front of those people that they wouldn't want you to think, and recognize and feel that your thoughts are private. It's important. It's important for you to understand that, because you're allowed to think and feel any way you want. You're just not allowed to act any way you want. 3, find someone who is safe, a good listener, accepting, and non-rescuing, and begin honestly and openly discussing your feelings with that person. Listen to that person's feelings without judgment or caretaking gestures. This is nice, isn't it? If you don't know anybody you feel safe doing that with, join a support group, or talk to a therapist, or talk to a life coach. So thanks for hanging out with me today. We're done with this chapter. Next time we will talk about anger. So more heavy stuff, always heavy stuff, I think. Hopefully you balance these videos with some lighter videos. I know I just finished Stranger Things 4 not too long ago. I loved it. It was a little too horror for me. I'm kind of a wuss. I made my kid go out to the garage with me to feed the dogs because I was too scared to go by myself after having watched Stranger Things. But I hope you're having a great weekend and it's not too hot where you are. If you're in the southern hemisphere, I hope your winter is going well. But yeah, please do check out my website. It's at www.findingyourselfsatx.com. If you can donate $1, that would be great. Otherwise, if you want to start your life coaching journey, our package is $65, but you can begin the personal vision statements for $9.99 each. So you can pick and choose whatever works for you. And I think every other piece there, I think there's one that's $14, but the rest of them they get cheaper because the videos are shorter and smaller. And it really is, I mean, the biggest piece of it at the end of the day after you've written everything out is to find an accountability partner. And so that's where a coach can help you, right? Because that's what we're paid to do. We're paid to hold you accountable. Or just find someone that you really trust and care about and that you can each kind of go on the journey together. It might be good to do the life coaching journey with a friend, each of you writing out your goals, each of you writing out your vision statements, and then the two of you holding each other accountable. So good luck in everything that you're doing. Thanks for being here with me. I think I've said thank you 1,000 times today, but I'm just really grateful for you guys. I'm very grateful for all the comments. I love the community that we've built. I'm almost there, y'all. I'm almost there. I need to reach 1,000 subscribers to be able to monetize on YouTube and make this be more than just an expensive hobby for me, which is what it is. But y'all take care. I'll talk to you next week. All right? Bye-bye.